karate background, you're not going to be very good with a bow staff or a nunchaku. You're not going to be very good with a handgun. You got to have the background for it. So you already have that, so that's pretty cool. And so we broke this really into these 4 parts for providing techniques for the karate practitioner for defending against the handgun. So how to take a handgun away from somebody. Give a couple quick rules about that, and then we're going to do the technique. And then provide some takeaway techniques. So, or anti-takeaway techniques. So in the event, how many have a handgun or gun in their house? No, she don't. We're going to murderize her case later. Okay. So, you know, if you don't know some basic rules of handgun retention, that's a liability. It's a liability. And a couple things about gun safety. So whenever we do this, especially when there's little guys around, there's a couple things that we definitely want to show kids, just to keep our kids from getting hurt at somebody else's house or whatever. My kids have grown up around guns since little, but they knew that from age 3. Some of these kids have never seen a gun. So Mickey's got some real ones too, so we do that, we get back in a real tight circle so these people, oh man, we got an holiday in. Okay. If confronted with a handgun, I know Sensei Hickey teaches women's anti-assault classes and I'm sure you will agree with this statement. If confronted with a handgun, you cooperate. If they want your wallet, your purse, whatever, your car, you give it. That should go without saying. We never put ourselves in a position to lose our lives on something like that. But I also have some other rules, you know. And for example, if they tell you to get into your car, you got to remember wherever you're going ain't going to be any better than where you're at. So if there ever was a time to act, it's this. And so first you got to think about when will I commit to taking the gun away, because it is always dangerous. And it's at those times where, like I say, you have no other choice. You know, and if it's just somebody's pulling a gun and you say, hey, I want your money, I always keep money just in case I don't want to make them mad. You keep an extra 20 on me just in case. I know I've been robbed in the case, you know, I could give up $20. And then, you know, it's time to defend right there. If you're going to do a gun takeaway, you need to commit fully to it, because how's that? When you move here, there's a lot better. You won't be able to hear it. It just goes on. This powder that comes out the sides of the fucking gases is burning, and you may get a numbing sensation in your hand. Whatever when you commit to it, it's going to be 100%, and that it's going to be there, and it's going to be done in about a second, and that's it, no matter what happens after. Even if you take a run, even if you get hit, after you get it, it's not something like, oh, that didn't work, now I give back up, because at that point, they're going to do whatever they're going to do. The whole concept of, you hear okay? If you're going to take a gun away, when you go for that, you've got to commit 100% to that. Count on a loud bang, count on getting burned, count on getting numb on your hand, count on maybe even getting shot, just like with knives, count on getting cut. But commit to it 100% and go for it. And the last thing is, it's not like you're going to come over here, I'm going to teach you 100 techniques. We could play with a lot of gun takeaway techniques. I'm sure with the jiu-jitsu people around here, we could do this for 8 hours. Okay? I recommend you have one system, one just small thing that you do that'll work for a lot of different things. But that you commit a lot of time to practicing that one thing. And that's basically what we're going to do, is one thing. I'm going to give you a couple alternatives off of that, but it's just one thing. Alright? And so with that, now we're going to one thing. The first part of this, or, you know, a lot of you advanced people, you know, maybe just try it one time and then just, you know, get with some of the other folks and help them out or something. But, you know, first thing about this is we're using training guns or toy guns. So a lot of times when him and I train together, we use real guns. And that's where, if you're going to do that, just one other little note before I start, you got to really make sure that they're not loaded. Everything's safe about it. We lost 6 cops last year in handgun accidents training. That's ridiculous. So you got to really, really watch if you're going to do that kind of thing. If you train the military and all that, you know that. And some of the other senseis, you know, just something to think about. All right, guns pointing at me. You know, and hopefully the natural response is to do this, which actually gives me an edge. It gives me a start. It gives me some place to put my hands that will be useful. We're going to talk about, can I take that gun away from back here?
No.
How do you know I ain't good enough? How do you know my arm don't extend? Yeah, you're right. I've got to be where I can grab this. Right at the end, the last session, or one of the last things we're going to do is called shot avoidance. It's for those times when you're too far away from the gun, there's still things you can do. You don't have to go after the gun, but there's still ways to get out of there. And we've been used to that. So I'm going to show you that shot avoidance. The first part is, this is the bad end of this. And I like this better than deal with a knife because a knife has so many bad ends. I don't know what this, it's that, and that's it. It's usually pointed right at me, not at him. So it makes life pretty simple as far as the start of the takeaway. First thing that you got to do is what? What would you think? I got to get away from this, right? So we're going real slow. So when I do this, I can make 42 foot movements, but you don't want any foot movements because there won't be any time for that. There'll be time for that in the body. Mr. Anderson just talked about limb speed. That's all we can use is limb speed. So from here, I just want to pivot my body so my body is out of the line of this fire. And when I do that, when he pulls the trigger, we'll see if I can, when I move, you pull the trigger, we'll see if I can do that faster. Shouldn't have been there. And it's not that I'm faster than him because if you know him and you know me, you know he's faster than me. But I'm acting, he's reacting, so that'll put me in a position to break. So if we've gotten to here and he hasn't fired, I now gain the advantage. And I want you to know that. This is how this first thing works. So we need to parry and get the gun out of the way. That's going to be our first technique. And when we parry to get the gun out of the way, it's important we don't hit the gun way over there because if we hit the gun way over there, I ain't got nothing to grab it. So in that regard, it's kind of like your class or your class. Earlier, if you got the 10 air 2 classes, what was one of the things is that, well, I'm going to manipulate this joint, I got to be able to grab it. If I got to grab it, I can't hit it over there. I got to get it right here. So when you move for this first move, try to place your hand either over top of his hand or if you got smaller hands, try to grab the back part of this gun. You can grab it like this or put your whole hand behind it, okay? And this top part will turn like this. And if you want something to do with your feet and you don't know what to do, get in a cat stance. If you only work out of stances, they get into cat stance. So I haven't moved my feet up and shifted the balls of my feet, trying to get close to this. One last thing, if I'm over here and I need to get close to that, I could still possibly do that. As I'm reaching for the money or whatever and saying, hey, whatever you need, I will give you. Okay, here. I've just gotten close. If he turns this now, you'll see how close I am. I can touch it now. I started off over here. If I go forward in him, he sees that very easily. If I appear to cooperate and move sideways to that, I just look to have a step in on him. And you all know this from the Kwanmukan, we're moving into the top, right? So that philosophy is the same. So first movement is parry the weapon, okay? There's 25 of these other red guns over here that take a piece. They're $55 a piece, and they're not mine. I borrowed them. And I will be right here. Yeah. This is intimidation. Good question. Show you something where we're going, so you can see where we're going, the road map.
Coming closer?
And this first thing is a vital part. Down in the front now. You're getting orders from all over.
Just like
Mr. Anderson's yelling for you, get upstairs, get back down.
never a restful moment.
So this first thing is obviously vital because if you don't do this, then if you do anything else here, you're going to get shot. This thing's over anyway. So we got to do this. But I notice some of you are karate people. So what's karate people do? We're getting stances. So you're like this, but you're like, and you get, look scared, So I'm here. This is absolutely vital. Where we're going to go with this is I'm going to just take this gun off you, right? And this gun, this is all this gun moved. It went from here to here, relax, and then back to here. This gun moved 1 inch. That's it. And so that's all, you're all keeping that in position. I wanted you to see that. But we're gonna change something right now for the next movement for safety. Because that's utterly important. We don't want to break a finger. Watch, I'll break his thumb real quick just to show you that point. You know, but we got all kind of gun takeaways. We can do stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is, we all saw I could take it there, put it with two hands. It's the same thing. So it doesn't matter. So we're just working one hand. So I might as well just take his hand and fold everything on this side. So before you do anything else today, get everything on one side, just to prevent his thumb from getting broken. Doesn't help me both. The thumb ain't nothing anyway. So everything will be on one side. So if I go to do something, his thumb's over here, I go fix your thumb. Then I'll take it. So step one was this, right? We just pivot the body, carry the weapon, and that's step one. Step two, we gotta grab this thing. We gotta grab it and pull it to center. Now, in Mr. Overholt's class, he was spanning two joints. Who else was teaching today? Mr. Ellis was teaching, he was spanning two joints, here to here, okay? Same thing I'm doing here. I'm gonna span the two joints of the weapon, the back and the front. And so as I go from here, I got the back joint, I got the front joint. And now I can manipulate this weapon. So put your hands like this. Because if I go to here, I know I got that, and this thing goes off, and I can't see anymore, I don't need to see anymore to do this technique. Because if this hand's here, this hand will be here. It's like this. If this high block's here, where do you know this hand's at? It's already in front. That's because I train that way. You know, 10,000 times I train that way. So if I do this hand here, when this hand moves, it'll always be next to that one. I don't need to look. I already account for it, just in case this goes off and I don't see so well anymore. So 1, 2, this is called catcher's mitt. Just grab the weapon this way like that, and that's it. That's all you gotta do. Number 2. Go ahead, 1, 2. Now you're gonna go 1, 2. Just hold number 2. 1, 2. That's all what you do. Got 3 minutes to do 1, 2. Back and forth, back and forth. Back together again. Come on in. Come on in. Sure. Question was asked. Guy's holding the gun. How about today how many did Shinto for the first time? Shinto, the car that Mr. Anderson was running. And did you get confused when he then turned a different direction? That's what I'm trying to do it really doesn't matter which way I go. But just to make it easy for you to understand so I want you to be able to walk out of this today. I want you 10 days from now to remember this without the paper I'm going to have handy. Okay? And so that's why we're going one way. And he's right. There's all kind of factors to consider. But either way will work. I'm just going this way just to make it one thing. And it doesn't matter what hand he's got it in. Doesn't matter if he's got two hands or one hand on it. Right? So I just want to give you a formula to apply it. So when you leave, you can play back and forth those different ways. So we got number 1. We got number 2. Number 3, we're going to pull to center. And when I do that, when I do this here, is the first time I can shift my feet and get a good stable stance, whatever you want to be in. It's not really a stance, kind of looks like a front stance, I guess. 1, 2, pull to center on number 3. To show you what this is, number 3, come on up here for 1 second. Let me use you. There's a big strong guy. He's going to make a fist right there, and he's not going to let you pull his hand down. You get all your weight on there. Pull that hand down. Pull it, pull it. That's a boy. There you go. Pull, pull, pull. Okay, it ain't working. Okay, let me show you something else. Put the hand as far as you can from your body. Now, you know, it's not a trick. Just take one hand, this hand. Now, push it down. Okay? Big strong man. All right, good. Now, see, you can take it. All right, it's got another trick. So what I'm doing here is I pull this into center, I make me what? What did I just make me? Stronger or weaker? Stronger. And if I pull his arm out, what I make him?
Weaker.
Weaker. And if you look at Mr. Ellis's class, what did he do? And Mr. Overholt earlier, what were they doing? Same principle. Pulling in center here, pulling him out here. Okay, so oh, it's all the same, Bob. Okay, yeah, it is. All right, so I got 1, that's step 1, get out of the way of the ball. 2, secure the weapon so it doesn't go anywhere. 3, pull it to center, make me strong, him weak. And look at the gun, it's not distorted, it's still in the same place it was. It's only moved over a couple inches, that's it. It's still like this and ready for me to take off it. And that's coming right now. So I want you to go again. 1, 2, 3. That's it, stop right there. It should look just like this. Spanning 2 joints on the gun. You got 3 minutes to do that back and forth. Good job. See that? Now, point out a couple little things. Some of you are getting over to here, and then this hand's ending up over here. It's kind of contrary, isn't it? I'm trying to make a door here that he can't come through again. So I kind of want all my hands and stuff on this side. Once I commit to this side. If I was going to the other side, same thing would apply over here. But I'm going to this side. I kind of want everything on this side. That's why these hands are just like this. And really, these two palms are touching. Bang them together enough to remember. Or look like a seal. Okay. So I go to here, I got this here. I've done one. I've got out of the way of the weapon, but I kept control. Two, I gained control with two hands, spanning the joints. Three, I pulled it into my center. I made him represent my body. He's weak, I'm strong. And now his gun's ready to take away. And I'm going to do this a couple different ways. I'm just going to take this tip of this, and I'm going to hit him right in the forearm with it. Now it's pointed again. Watch again. I parry the weapon, I catch the weapon, I pull the center, I take this, and I hit him right in the forearm with it. I'm ready for that strip now. Parry out of the way of the weapon, catch the weapon, pull the center, and I hit him with that right there. I just rip this right out of his hand. I'm not going to word my head. I'm not going to word my feet. This thing can still go off. If it's going to go off, it's going to go off right at him. Oh, you shouldn't have pulled the gun, I guess. Carry the weapon. See yourself pull. I grab the weapon. I'm on one side. I pull at the center. I get my stance in while I'm doing that. And I just pound this gun into his forearm. That's it. All I got to do now is create distance with my hand. Right? And that's the strip. So I'm going to let you do two things, though, when you go back. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Maybe. I want you to add the fourth step in this strip. And then I want you to do it this way. One of you does it 10 times, the other one does it 10 times. Here's how I want you to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And see, gradually now he's got it on. Now, the first time I did that, nobody saw what I did. But now you see every step. You got it here. So put it here first, and then gradually add the speed. That's like going to see Mr. Anderson or Mr. Hickey do something, and he's trying to do that at the speed they can do it at. Or Bob here. I can't do it at Bob's speed. I can do it at Bob Magnuson's speed, just a little slower. All right, go ahead and do that 10 times each.
Relax, first of all. Don't make it harder than it is. The first movement, you're really just holding here. You guys, I know in the Kwanmukan system, they're always doing this stuff, aren't they? Well, they don't do this all the time? Do this kind of stuff? It's really kind of the same thing. You're moving here. Now, once you get here, this is locked in here. This comes up the hip. So it's like this. And here. Now, he is showing you variation. He's showing you here, bringing it in. You gotta be careful when you're doing this. Some of these guys are doing this, or some of you guys are going like this. And just remember, way, I'm pitching the gun and I'm bringing it in, but I'm not in the line of fire. Now I'm going to strip it, working toward the thumb. 3, 4. Wow. We got a lot of guys that are doing this here, doing this. Yeah, pick this up right here to the line. Just to kind of. Again, I want to share a couple other things. Mickey's got a little drill for a reminder. You can go buy them one guns at Walmart, a clicking gun. It's just not quick. So if you want, he's got another way to do that too. Just, again, 1, 2. I'm always staying away from this barrel. This barrel is never coming back at me. So Mickey, where are you at?
Right here.
Okay, why don't you show that?
All right, he points the gun at me, and I get my hands up right away, not like the old cowboys, but just right up here. You deflect it out of the way, you grab it, you pull it to center. Now this muzzle should never point at you, and then you do the strip. If you're doing it this way, point, and I deflect, I grab it, and then I'm pulling it here, and it's pointing at me the whole time, that's bad. And one way to do that is with a gun with a flashlight. So if he's pointing at me, I want to get that light away from me, grab it, pull it in, and strip. So it's pointing at him. So at no time during the strip is this pointing at me the whole time. Where if that gun goes off, you're going to get shot. So as he points, as he points it at me, I want to get that light away from my center. I grab it and pull it here, and then when I do the strip, the light's on him the whole time.
Back to what Sensei Sissel said. Once I got this, put 2 hands on. And go ahead and you grab regular. It's got 2 hands on. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. And if he's got 1 hand on, you saw that. Let's have him put it in his left hand. No hand here. I want to do the same pattern here. Still works. 1, 2, 3. Guess what breaks now? His finger. So the only thing that we're talking is which fingers of his get broken. Really, who cares? All right, 2 hands on it. Left hand first, right hand. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Broken finger. 4. So you got to be real cautious of that if you're an instructor teaching that. That's why I start off with this, then I work to this, then it doesn't matter. One last strip you can do. I go here, I go here, I go here. And instead of going inside, there's another, wow. You didn't have to tolerate this in any of your classes, did you? There's another strip I could do. And I'll just give you one more, just so you can play with another one, where I just take this gun and I walk it right over his hand. It's called a walk-over strip. And Sensei, it works on the same principle as these things you've been teaching. It's the same principle here of leverage for Aikido. And what I'm doing is 1, 2, 3. Oh, that all looks the same, Bob. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Very, very simple technique. And then I'm just taking this and being aware, like Mickey said, I'm bringing this back to my head. I'm going to put this back toward his head. I'm going to walk it right back over. And just dig this right into his hand and walk it right past his head and take it. Sensei Pat Hickey said afterwards, since we have 2 Sensei Hickeys I'll identify, once we're done with either one of these techniques, the rollover strip or the inside strip, what do I got to do now? We're going into this next phase, and so I just cut into it right now. You need to get distance, because whatever I just did to him, he can do to me. So the next drill I usually do with the kids is I go like this. Okay, I just did it to you, do it to me. Okay, now you point it.
That's right.
I point it, and we go back and forth, and then we say, oh, we got to put distance in there. And the distance, just take, this is Miss Granish's new favorite technique, right? Slapping people. Slap them right in the chest. Move you away while you move him away, and now you got this here. Now that's your choice what you do after that.
And this is important that you do this, so in real life when he points it at you, and you deflect it, grab it, pull it to center, and take it off, you don't give it to him to try.
So those are a couple other things. Is this rollover strip? You could add that on for your number 4 moves, and then you could start doing just some drills where you go back and forth, and then start going somewhere after you got the gun. You add distance. You add distance. This is where you can take this. And so what have you done? You've taken a simple technique that fit with all the things you've learned in karate and aikido and jiu-jitsu, right? Took that simple technique and just in a few short minutes, you've worked it and worked it and worked it a whole bunch of times. Think how many reps you just did. On one drill, you did 10. So you've probably done 50 reps of one thing. That's all I've taught since I've been here. That's it. It's one thing, but you get the idea. Civilian gun retention. If he's got the gun here, oh no, it's my gun now. I am carrying the gun. I have elected to by Ohio law, I took the course in that, which they're not going to teach you any of this stuff. I've got the gun, bad guy comes up, oh, you get away from me. He can take this away from me, correct? They start the maneuver, 1, 2, okay, 3. He's going to do an inside step on this. Am I done? There's a counter to every counter, right? The counter to this, if he's spanning 2 joints, I need to span them wider without covering the barrel. So I need to get up on the other end and just defeat it back this way. I need to get up into here and defeat this back this way. And again, using the principle I already talked about, as he pulls me to center, I need to regain that center. I need to regain the grip on the gun, pull to my center. And as you do that, you can add a lot of things in too that you normally would do, you know, in your karate that you've already done. So I want you to look at this one last time, and Mickey wants to talk about something before we go, and just look at this strip from the aspect. If you, the civilian, is carrying a gun, maybe a lot of you do now. I know a lot of people that carry guns. There's no permits. You know, who's going to be searching your car anyway? So, I got the gun, I pulled it on him, he's going to do that. I got to take this back. And the key is to span the 2 joints yourself and rip this back to your tuck position, in close to you. And again, then gain distance, regain your weapon. So now you're in the mode, I'm carrying the gun, I pointed the gun, I made a mistake. Because the first rule is, I never want to be that close. And in fact, if you think about it, this is stupid. It's just amazing people do this. This is absolutely stupid. You tell them to deal with a person that this distance, this is 6 feet, my hand is here, we actually train to shoot from here. Alright? This gun's nowhere near where he's going to grab. And I can still take all my shots. So when they do this to begin with, it's stupid. You should never be in a position aiming a gun at somebody, have him grab it. So distance is your friend, and I got that on the paper. But we'll go into just one of the ways, if he goes to do that, what can I do? So go ahead, take 2 minutes. Yes, sir.
On the retention move, are you stepping in to gain that center? Are you stepping close?
I like what Mr. Anderson said in there. Who gets there first, the faster guy or the slower guy? And they get there at the same time. And somebody asked that over here, you asked the same thing. And really, I'm going kind of both. I'm pulling in toward me and I'm moving toward him. But we're arriving at the same time. So, you know, it's kind of mute. Okay? 2 minutes for that one. Maximize that workout time and get as many things that we can learn at one time in, right?
Right.
But if you're training for the street, action technique, you're going to work in the street. You'll notice Mr. Anderson shift gears. And then he'll work that one technique over and over and over. And he'll show you 52 different drills to accomplish that one technique. But I saw him do it last time. He just took one technique and he showed you 10 different ways that you can train to do that technique. Because that technique's going to be a primary street technique. You know what I mean? Same with this. Now, once you've got them at this level where they could use it on the street, and this is all I ever learned when I did my takeaway, okay? Then you can start tweaking it and adding a lot of your flavors in on it without making it complicated. I thought this was a great one.
It's just, I mean, the exact same idea, it's just with a little different specific. We've already mentioned. So if you sort of look at this, does anyone's hand go in like this comfortably? Doesn't at all, right? So for the same idea, it's the very same technique. So that you move and push it in.
Now slow.
Okay. So it's the same thing you were doing, except I'm going to take the weapon. So you can't hold on to it. And at the same time I drop my body weight, it's stripped. Right? And then when I pull back,
You turn one time this way, and same thing. So you can see that you start adding these joint manipulations. You're learning these classes, taking that same, oh, he's got this same hand position here. And he's taking it. So you got the inside strip is this. And the rollover strip is this. Now he's making the manipulation joint here. Take the weapon out of the hand, and that's it. Thank you very much. I want to introduce one more concept real quick. We have this big one. So what I'm going to have you do is kind of half of you turn and look that way, and half of you turn and look this way. But for right now, we'll just take you this way, I guess, and back up. And I'm going to run a couple people at this. But right before we back up, I'll tell you what it is. It's called shot avoidance. I'm just going to do this real quick. I want everybody to try it one time. That's it. I'm going to make you show what they do, and we're going to get out of here. If you are more than a greater distance, somebody over here, and I don't remember who it was, asked me, do people do this? Is this where they point? Yes. If they're trying to intimidate you to rob you at this distance, yes. If they're in fact trying to shoot you or engage you at a greater distance, the weapon will drop down to center mass, whether it's a cop shooting or a bad guy. Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to move our mass out of the line of fire. And how many of you have shot a handgun? Who has never fired a handgun? Let me yeah, right.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, good one. Okay. Yeah, same thing. You know, when you're close to something, me and my boy love this. When you're close, it's easy to hit them. And the kids play with that game on the screen and you're right up to the TV. Oh yeah, it's real easy. When you get back the length of that, it gets harder, right? The further back you get, the harder it gets. But believe it or not, and I showed the tape last year. I got hundreds of shootings on tape. And you wouldn't believe the number, statistically, the number of bullets that missed me. In fact, the successes are so few at this distance. And you go, how can you miss? And if you just add a little bit more to it. So if the gun is 6 or more feet, you just can't work your way in. Then what you want to do is get out of the line of the first shot and create as much distance for the subsequent shots as possible. And that has successfully saved police officers and civilians alike, I think, the women in self-defense class. As you're gaining that distance, if you could do that in a zigzag fashion, all the better, because every time this gun moves, it goes off target. And as you're creating distance and zigzagging, if you could start putting things, barriers to bullets in between you and that gun, the better off you're going to be. There's a barrier right there, that brick wall. There's a partial barrier over there. Anything between you and that gun as you move, and then continue that commitment. So, but it starts at the closest range when it's most dangerous. How do I move from there? So go ahead and move back and stand up, and we'll get a couple going. And you're my first guinea pig right here. Stand right there, and give him plenty of room left and right. Ready? Ready? Go. I'm gonna point at you, and you go that way or that way as quick as you can. Where you want? Try to shoot. Okay? Now, two things we need to do here. Before the movement was made, I saw this. Wait, I'll be right back. I saw this. So what do I think? Which way are we going to go? The second thing I saw was a fake, another fake. And so when we're still in this fake, that's how it is. Don't look that way. Don't look that way. Don't fake. You go. I want you to go. I want you to do one thing. I want you to eat with your can about all try this at least once.
Yeah. Oh, that's all right. It's okay. I just want to make sure you're doing it for your credit. In the knee, it hurts your Achilles and the knee is involved too. You can do it on that one. Let's do this. This one. Yeah, it feels like rust.
The point it's just to come back to here. You're so much shorter, I can change the time. So, are you able to take here, on the heel, right? Now watch. I'm just not doing this. I'm pushing his hips away. I'm here.
That whole connected thing.
There's the secret. If you're not connected, why? Because those things that aren't connected don't work. If I lose him, he goes over, I'm going over, slip this over, I'm in this position here. I still have control, right? I can release this and go into this. I can release that, go to the top member, and still go into a shimmy. He doesn't want to do I don't blame you, I wouldn't want to either. I always learn to turn into the joke. So. If you weren't, you're trying to go straight down. I'm not going to look Here, we're going to do what? Height. He's going to roll into it, right? Take him that way. Game!
Excuse me, Shane, how did you release the pressure on the leg when you found it was tight? Did you back on? Yes, yeah. Yes. Understood. Did you try it yet? You did it? Try again? No, here, you can do it. I'll go down. I'll go down, Janet. Keep up. Yeah, on your knees. Get on your knees. Kneel down. Yeah, kneel. There you go.
Now, here, do this. Now reach your right hand to the hand.
I'll roll in the choke.
Let go of this one.
Take this foot and then over here. This foot. Yeah, I rolled right on this side. What? Oh! Try again. Try this side. Now you want to bring your. I think you want to bring there. There. Get on your knees though. On your knees. Both knees. Now lift this leg up. This leg comes up. Drop with this hand. Take this foot. Put it over here. No, put your hand there. Take this foot. Keep turning. You don't have the. Actually, you should be over the top here. Right? You should be like that. Right? Put this on the ground. Right?
All right. Now, obviously, because of the conditions, it's going to be hard to keep a loud voice going. You need to focus for two reasons. One, so you can hear. Number two is safety. Okay? My name is Mr. Fike. Richard Fike, Rick, Richard, whatever. Relax. Just relax. We're going to make this a formal, informal. Formal for training, in the sense of respect for what we're doing and rank, but more importantly for safety. But the second part is safety, more important than anything else. Safety is number one, so I want you to relax. Now, there's a couple different blades out here on the floor. Every one of these, in one shape or another, I've had the opportunity to carry or work with. Now, there's a couple in here that are samples, so I can show you. The reason we're going to look at this, we only have an hour class. I originally thought I was going to be doing an hour of rope and an hour of knife, but it's been combined evidently, and I'm not sure how much effective we're going to be doing both. So I have 5 techniques with knife and about 3 with rope. Now, if we don't get it all done, I suggest those who would like to continue training after either before or after the banquet, probably after the banquet, we'll meet out in the lounge out here, and I'll spend 1, 2, 3 hours with you on some really advanced knife and really advanced rope techniques and securing how to secure multiple single attackers quickly, take them down. We're going to try to get that in today. Okay. Right now, hopefully all of you brought an edge weapon. When we do our edge class, it'll be knife against knife. Okay. Some of our techniques are going to be in. But right now, we'll start off with, everybody knows what this is. All right? Tomahawk. This is great when we're using double weapons. We're using a knife in one hand like a Bowie or an axe in the other. Lock, hook, and strike. This is a really good training. Once you learn how to use one, we work on 2. That's real simple. This is a great little axe for throwing. We can place the head. Continue training. This is a typical tile Bowie knife. Sandbar routine. Everybody study Jim Bowie. Okay? There's a lot of controversy behind that whole thing. But this is a knife that's famous. No one really knows what a Bowie knife looks like. You know it's wide, long, and big. There's all kinds of sizes. Okay? This is a handmade Al Mar knife. Before he died, he made this for me. It's called my bear knife. This thing is super sharp. I carry this in about 3 countries. This is a fixed blade. Reason why a lot of people don't know that. A fixed blade. These are fixed blades. This is machete from Salvador. Okay? You fight and train with those. This is the push knife. Close quarter fighting. Okay? Now, why I'm showing you this? Not that you run out and buy it. Someday, if you're facing somebody, an opponent, mainly adults in law enforcement, you know what it looks like and what it can do. This is a folding blade. A lot of you have it. Okay? Folding blade. Starts here, goes here. closes within a handle. That's a folder. This is a fixed blade. Why? Because there's some techniques we do when you draw a knife that you're going to need to know the difference. Okay? When I'm drawing a fixed blade for my leg, I'm going to come out in a forward grip. When I'm drawing it for my hip, I'm going to come out in a reverse grip. Why you need to know that? So if you're facing somebody, you know how effective they are. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on all that. We're going to use some techniques. And I want to real quick run across some of these things. These are just samples. Machete. Alright? Not only good for striking, mainly for taking off limbs and opening up coconuts. I'm talking about that one. Okay? This is based on a World War I trench knife. Okay? The trench knives were used. Some of your granddads may have them around the garage somewhere. If you do, call me. Okay? This is a military bayonet. Anybody know what that's from? You guys know what that's from, right? No, not World War II. Vietnam era. That's okay. This is the M9. This is the current issue bayonet. This is what's being carried in Iraq. Along your own personal weapons, okay? Different various knives. This is the queen daddy of them all, so to speak. This is the Fairborn Sights. This is where fighting knives began. Double legs, long dirk. It's designed for one purpose, and that's to kill guards. Alright, British designed this to take out German sentries. That's where it comes from. It goes back further than that, the French and the knights of old, when they used it, when they fought with single double weapons, okay? This is very common blade for the martial artist. What's that called? Kanto. You had a partner, Lone Ranger. Alright. This, a lot of you seen, is an interesting blade. Okay? Fold, strike, open, boom. Open, strike. This is the butterfly knife. Now, trivia. Don't answer until you know the answer. Trivia. Where was this knife developed? Wrong. Where? Come on.
Philippines.
Philippines, right? Philippines, right? That's where everybody says it's from. Patents issued in the United States, folks. Long before it went to the Philippines. Just so you know, a bit of trivia, okay? They got it from us. It was developed from here to long 3-foot blades from springs from Jeeps. Okay? But anyway, each knife has a purpose. If we had a 2-hour, 3-hour, 4-hour class, we would be covering different blades, what they do, how they work. You have to select the blades you want. We're going to go on today that you know what you have. Most of them are going to be fixed blades. We're going to work on single forward and reverse grip, a couple techniques that you didn't see last year. Some of them you did. But because we're in close proximity, there's a lot of people. It's going to be hard to yell and scream, okay? So I'm going to keep my voice down so you need to focus, work on the technique, and then we'll say switch, okay? Some of my guys, get these knives out of here, please. Put them in the back. Put them back in the bag. Children, young people, listen up. Do not touch an edged weapon here today if you see it laying on the floor. Understand?
Yes, sir.
I don't need this. Now, how many people have a partner and a knife? I need a partner and a knife. That's what you gotta have. How many people need partners?
Is that a real knife?
Stand up, guys. We're gonna have to form a big, big circle. That's all based on the type of knife and how you draw it. It's out of my back pocket. It comes out like this. It's in my front. It comes out like this. When I open up a folder, it's almost always forward grip. All right. If I'm hunting, or I have my knife on my hip here, I'll pull it out, it's almost always in a forward grip. If I'm trained, or I know what I want to do, I'll pull it out this way, it's in a reverse grip. So we're going to look at 2 types of grips, common sense. There are 3 zones we're looking at on our attack. We're looking at zone 1, we're going to throw it up. Now we're not, listen up kids, we don't use a knife, we're not hunting people. Understand? We are attacked, we're in fear of our life. Somebody tries to take our life with an edged weapon. We're teaching you the principles of using an edged weapon and defending against an edged weapon. You got it, kid? Adults, I don't have to make it any clearer. You understand what I'm saying? The point is, you understand how to defend against it or use it offensively. It makes you a better fighter all the way around. Zone 2 is the waist, the eyes. 2, we're looking at armpits, solar plexus, kidneys. 3, we're looking at femoral artery here and behind the knee. Okay? We're going to do a multiple cuts. I want a minimum of 3 cuts or 3 impacts. What does that mean? This is a hit. This is a hit. The edge is not only the one, it's not just the only thing that works. You have a tip, you have an edge, you have a spine, and you have a butt of a knife. Real simple layman terms. The butt, the spine, the edge, you already know what that does, and the tip. A lot of knives have a reverse sharp edge at the top. That's for cutting down and cutting back. Okay? Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to look at attack from a reverse grip position. I'm going to demonstrate a couple moves for you. 3 or 4 attacks. Show you what it looks like. Back up, please. Now, as well, we've got to talk about psychology. How you arrive when you knife in your hand, that's your business. We're not here to teach you that right now. But you have a knife, you got that weapon. We're going to look at the first attack against the thrust. The second attack against the slash, because those are the 2 most common. Thrust, slash. Okay? So the first is a thrust. Reverse grip. Why? Because if the person doesn't know I have it, I want an element of surprise, or I want to keep it in strong with my body. Because let me tell you something. Unless you train and really have worked with these blades, it doesn't work the way you think. You're out there spinning, jumping around, hitting, you hit something solid, that's going to fall out of your hand. You got to understand that. You got to learn how to develop the feel of the grip of that knife. Grip number 1, thrust. Come in. I'm going to get stabbed. I'm dead. I'm going to use my martial arts technique. Step to the side. Okay? Good impact to the hands. That's good martial arts karate technique. As this hand goes this way, I'm coming across the position here. Reverse slash. One more time. Reverse slash. Out of the way. Alright? That's all I'm doing. His pressure coming down is going to open the arm. Right up. Now when we do an 8-hour class, I'll have real training aids so you can see what it looks like. You go, at the end of the day, we go with live blades. You can work with live blades. Right now, get appreciation. Number 1, my side step, flat, strike. I want to disarm. Get the knife out. Point out to the side. Running technique, whatever I want to do. Or I can go into a more easy position. Back from here. Side step. I'm deflecting and crossing my arms. As it comes in, here. If I'm deep, I'm going right to the femoral artery. Alright? 3 minutes. Unless you tie it off, they're not going home. So right now, for our sake, we're coming in, we're deflecting, we're coming back fist, disarm, take it up underneath, swing down the ground. There. One more time. Reverse grip, side step, and flat slash. Disarm. Break up. Down. Alright, we're going to walk in position and we're going to walk into it once. Get your partner, stand up. I'm going to figure out the attackers. The attackers in the forward grip position. Forward grip. Defender, you're in a reverse grip position. I'm sorry if you can't hear me. I'm trying to yell really loud. I'm not going to have you voice my mom. Alright, attacker number 1. Attacker number 2. I'm sorry, attacker number 1 is going to thrust. We are going to stand with our hands up. Take your thrust to the belly and see what it's like. That's what you got to defend against. Attacker, go to the belly and do only what I tell you to do. Belly. Listen up. You don't listen up, you got to do what we say. At this point, I want you to look what we're doing. Opposite hand. Deflects. As that arm folds that arm, this arm comes down. Fold your arms. Now to make this work, we're going to side step. Going up the radius, along the radius, taking the radial nerve out. Once we're there, we back fist, slice the knife. Be careful so they don't fly across the room. One more time, and we're going to do it together. Ready? Step. Alright, now we're going to side step, deflect, and thrust. Alright, it's back fist. 1, 2, back. At that point, we're going to slice the knife. Alright, now, at this point, come back up on the arm, come down on the arm, grab, sweep, take them down. You don't have to sweep. Down this way. Watch it. You don't have any neck. That's right, go up here, right to the neck. Finish.
is.
Down to the ground and quit. Now, there's some other moves we do. There's so many people in your close proximity, so they get stuck in the face. I'm really concerned about some of these guys getting the knife, so be careful. But when it comes in, watch. We're going here, we're going here. But after we wrap, we go around here. If I pick up the base, it's fine. If I don't go down, I go to here. I take the arm from here. Then I can do my straight kick and everything else. Comes in again. 1, 2, 2. Watch. Now, by the time he realizes he's bleeding, his arm's like this.
Yeah, it's useless.
It's over. I don't have to go any further. In fact, the first move, when he comes at me here, it's over with there. You ever seen a walleye from Lake Erie's fillet? Lift that meat right up. Exactly what it's supposed to like. With the exception of a little bit of bone chip coming out.
Right?
At that point, he sees it, he registers it, 2/10 of a second, shock starts to set in, you'll be on the ground and out. Then you wrap him up, start an IV and ship him home, okay? All right, let's try this one more time. Watch this wrap. One here, I've already done that. This arm, up over, all the way over the top of the arm. Taking out radial or the radial nerve, and the rear artery cross here. What's that? Now, you can do whatever else you want. Once I come in here, strike in the face, coming down, I'm coming through, I'm removing this building to use that arm. That's all here. Take away this knife. And when that arm, once I'm here like this, the edge is up, isn't it? You're not going to cut, is it? Long. Listen. Make sure you get this as it comes through. 2/10 of a second. If I get this hand, that's fine. But in most cases, after I make this cut, relax the arm. The knife's going to drop. Incidental move. Here, and back. Okay? And here, it's a solid fighting it out. But I want to make sure I'm buttoning. That's the removal gun, right?